Welcome back to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. It is now time for us to dissect everything that went right and everything that went wrong with the Chicago Fires. I don't even remember the score, man. This game made me so sad. We lost to Columbus. It sucks.
It was not good. And
what was it?
And
2-1?
I saw Joseph Lowry posted a clip of just this lackluster play and pointing out the black hole that is Shaqiri right now. Shaqiri's has these errant passes. He loses control of the ball against MLS players. He's just making simple mistakes at the moment.
I think for the most part, you got to blame the defense on this. I mean, obviously you don't blame the whole team.
Oh no, wait, that was the game before.
So the first goal, Solquist got caught ball washing.
Oh man, I don't know about that, though, dude. I'm pretty sure that was
at the guy.
I'm pretty sure that was Herber's dude.
Nah, man, Solquist was like staring at the guy. You're giving him space. He's getting to the byline. He's getting to the box, and you're just staring at him. You're not even approaching him. You're not you're tracking him. Great, that's a start. But you give him so much space, the guy's gonna take his shot.
I actually thought Solquist played pretty well. Honestly, my greatest hits of players I can't stand. I feel like Tom Barlow played well. I feel like Gaston played well when he came on. Honestly, I feel like the biggest problem and the reason we lost the game and the guy who had the absolute worst game and a bad game was Chris Mueller.
So
never say his name right.
So my thing is like there were times where the Fire was dominating, where they were attacking, they were applying that pressure.
Oh, that first 10 minutes.
They couldn't score. They couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And this is what brings my point back to look who's managing the team. You could tell this team does not have a game plan set. Like, they attack the first 10 minutes, and then afterwards they're all over the place the rest of the game.
Well, I think to circle back to James's point about Shaqiri, I think the plan was to just go, just balls to the wall in that first, 10, 20 minutes and try and get steal a goal and change the complexion of the game. And I feel like Shaq was playing really well at a point. And then I think he just got frustrated. I think he's already in that mode where, like, when one thing goes wrong, he's just like, yeah, I mean, these guys suck. You know what I mean?
He's the captain.
It's not going to make a difference because at the end of the season, he's probably gone anyways.
Well, we'll get to that. But James, how did you feel about this game? Did you even watch the game?
I caught half of it, but I watched so lacking. When I checked in, it was just so hard. I tried watching. It was just, I think I got sucked into playing Risk on my phone or something, like Risk Global Advanced Warfare, whatever it is. You know that game.
Yeah.
But like the game was boring. Joseph Lowry was saying, like, just the play was so lacking, not just effort from Shaqiri, but from everybody. It was a counterattack. And, like, you see nobody running with ferocity, nobody moving. It's like, what were the Chicago Fire doing? Why was the attack so devoid of energy?
Well, do you know who covered the most ground of any Fire player?
Was it Shaqiri?
No, it was Kuipers. That's a bad sign. That's him trying to force anything to happen.
Yes.
And he had a shot that's like was such a hard shot. Nobody had any right to make it, and it hit the post. Like, I think. Go ahead. This
is the sad thing is that I'm guessing Kuipers is so used to having good service, or was used to having good service in Belgium, that you come to the MLS, and this Fire team has never been known to provide good service. And that's where we're stuck at, because you see a lot of crosses, but nothing happens. You see a lot of passes in the box, but nothing happens. Nobody decides to shoot. People are indecisive. There's no game plan on how to proceed. The defense is out of sorts. I mean, this defense
I don't think so. I don't really think so.
I think this defense has regressed.
I think Aragoni is the truth.
I think Aragoni's the truth too.
Aragoni is probably the bright side.
I think Guster. If you put Gutman in for Guster, or
Gaspar.
Thank you,
Gaspar, the friendly soccer ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if you switch out that, the team looks a lot different.
Well,
I mean, honestly,
also, at what point do you switch out Chicos?
Well, you have to now. You have to. He's not a start. It's a rotation. It's a platoon, man.
Guess who was the worst rated defender last game?
Chihos?
Chihos, 6.6. Aragoni with a 6.8 and a yellow card. Salkist with a 6.7. Gaspar with a 6.9. Our best player, either Chris Brady or Fabian Herbers.
Well, I mean, honestly, Herbers is having a crazy season. Herbers is having that season when you know you're a championship team and, like, he's coming in and doing all this for your team, but he can't be your best player. And
he can't.
He won't be by the end of the season, but still, like, there is a shadow of a really good team here.
I mean, Acosta looks great out there.
Yes, he does. There's a shadow of a really good team. And if you think about this logically, Mueller isn't good enough, and Guti should be the center mid.
Is Shaqiri good enough?
When Shaq leaves next season, you got Guti in the center. You can get a DP winger. Shit, you could get a second DP winger because we still have a DP spot open. And this team looks way different. I think, unfortunately, we got so excited about anything positive that we forgot that, like, oh yeah, it actually takes a minute to build a good team.
Well, you know I want to say that maybe we should get a legit true number 10.
I mean, dude, just switch Guti and Shaq. Let Shaq play out.
Because Guti is inconsistent and he's still young, and I wouldn't bet my entire attacking midfielder center on him yet. I still think that if you pair him with the right center midfielder, the sky's the limit with the kid. But
what's Acosta and Herbers? I feel like Acosta's
a DM. Right.
Oh, so you talking another central, more attacking player,
attacking minded player. Maybe your midfield general, your setup man, someone that's gonna set up plays, whether it's on the wing in the center, someone that could provide some service, because that's what we're lacking. We're lacking legitimate service. We can't expect Kuipers. This is why Kuiper was running so much, because he's trying to find that service. He's trying to make his own magic.
He's trying to do. That's the problem. Like, Kuipers is trying to do anything he possibly can.
He's trying hard.
And it's not that he's bad. It's just that nobody is giving him the pass. Nobody is setting him up. It's always cross the ball, nothing happens. Oh crap, we're in the middle of we're getting counterattack.
Well, Frank's doing him no favors, guys.
It's just
we're not doing him favors.
These tactics are doing him no favors, and on top of that, some of these subs are doing no favors. Tom Barlow, I've seen enough. What a waste of a roster space. What a waste of money. Why is this guy even here? I don't know. Why are you not using Kutsias? Like, literally, he is there, and it's just fucking up Kutsias' development.
It goes back to the same thing we've been complaining about this whole entire time. You got Heights as a GM. You got Klopas as a coach. Those two guys can't even run a freaking lemonade stand together.
They couldn't run a Ben and Jerry's.
No.
Dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things.
Listen, I mentioned this before. I do feel like we threw enough money at the problem that our offseason looked good, and that's still not Heights' success. So, like, when we can move on from him and we can move on from Klopas next season, we have the shadow of a really good team. I think we'll either just get in the playoffs or just miss it this season.
Again.
And we have a shadow of a good team. So if we replace Shaq with another big splash of cash, we move a few more dead weight. Gaston, see you later. Enjoy South America. then we should be a good team by next season.
Chicago Fire fans were conned, guys. We were absolutely conned at the beginning of the season. We came at the season when these signings were made. We're like, oh, maybe there is hope. Maybe Georg Heitz does know what he's doing. Maybe he has earned that contract extension. We were saying these things literally at the beginning of the season, and now all of a sudden we're here 3 games in. We're like, what the fuck is this? This is the same fucking piece of shit that we saw last year with the same interim coach.
Well, listen,
with a team that is not interim level in talent.
No,
yeah, with some sprinkles on it now.
Our talent is better, and I was never fooled to think that Heitz did a good job. I just thought we got some good players. And I'll tell you this: I was never a fan of Klopas coming back. I was not a fan of Klopas the first time he coached a stupid team. The fact of the matter is,
we've seen enough Klopas.
We've seen enough Klopas. These players I want to see more of.
Holy shit, you're right. We're 3 games in, and I asked you guys the last 2 podcasts, when are we going to see enough of Klopas? We're 3 games in.
Well, not only that, it's just that you take his first thing with the Fire 10 years ago. You add in all those interim parts of the season for the past couple of years. He didn't do much. He didn't change anything. And then now we have him again as official head coach. But it's like, how many times are we gonna keep calling this guy to lead this team because of somebody else's mistakes?
Well, it's just when you can't find what you want, and okay, this guy functions. You know what I mean? It's like that DVD player. It's like, okay, like that works. So it goes in the bedroom when I want to watch a DVD in there. But it's not the nice one in the living room, right? It just functions. And that's all Klopas does is function. And that sucks because this team deserved better. I am not ready to give up on the team, on the talent,
guys,
even though they're
I'm sorry. There's a reason Bob Bradley didn't come back to this team when he was offered a chance to 2023. Bob Bradley didn't want to come back here.
Oh man, I would love to have
Jesse
Bob
Marsh
Bradley.
didn't want to come here. Those guys didn't want to come here. That's why we have Frank Klopas. If we can't get Bob Bradley, who was shit out of Toronto, great coach, and I would love to have him here, and I think he'd be doing fine here. He actually has tactical ideas. He was the men's national team coach at one time. He's got European experience. In fact, he's over back in Stayback right now, coaching them. But this is a sign of dysfunctional things. Dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things. And the players of the past and the people who've been involved in this team, like Frank, like Bob, like Thorington, like other executive Bocanegra, they know not to touch Chicago Fire with even a stick because there's a chance you could get covered in shit.
Well, hold on, though. Hold on. If someone offered you this job when, quote unquote, we re-signed Klopas, you tell them to go shove it. This team looks like garbage. They're going to finish last. If
I
3
think that's
weeks,
what Frank said.
Well, hold on.
They're
but
like, here's 100,000 more. Does that do it for you? He's like, okay, that's another roof on my house. Okay, for my kids. Okay.
But 3 weeks ago, if somebody came up to you and said, "Do you want this job?" You'd be like, "Yeah, man, I got some pieces I can play with."
Yeah.
Right. So I do feel like next season, whether we have a bad season or not, there's enough pieces to play with that somebody's going to be like, "Oh, I'm way smarter than Frank Klopas. I got this."
I want to hope that next season, because I know this season's probably going to end in a tragedy anyways. I hope next season we don't have Heitz, because honestly, nobody wants to touch this club as long as Heitz is running it as a GM.
Do you even think do you even think he made these moves, or do you think Joe did?
No, he made the moves.
You think he went after Kuipers?
Look, man,
he went after Acosta?
So this is there's certain people that I know. Now I'm not going to bring up their names, but they have legit had conversations with Heitz in terms of scouting players and, acting as a player agent. Like, Heitz is kind of open to anybody to give him ideas. Like, the legit, like,
really?
say, hey.
I kind of felt like this offseason, they just Heitz was like George Costanza, where he's got his one manila envelope on his desk and he's sitting there doing nothing. Like that's kind of what I thought Heights did this offseason, but maybe
so
I'm wrong.
I think Heights probably took some coaches' advice, some scouts' advice, and said, "Hey, you should really sign this guy," or maybe some agent, maybe Kuiper's agent was like, "Hey, we're looking for a move to the MLS, or can you offer more money, whatever." But you need someone. First of all, you gotta get rid of Heights because you need someone that's gonna go in with a game plan. So, and the thing is that you guys always want to mention the heavy hitters. You guys want to mention your Mourinhos, your
Vladimir
and all
Petkovic would have worked. They could have gotten a guy like Vladimir Petkovic, who was the head coach of Switzerland from 2014 to 2021. He was jobless in 2023. Now he coaches Algeria.
But those guys want full control. They want to be the GM. They want to be the head coach.
He was the former coach of Shaqiri, by the way, which is why I was suggesting him.
They want the whole. And Heights is not going to let that happen, obviously.
Yeah, but Joe might
no. Heights is conning. Heights is conning Joe.
Petkovic coached for Lugano. Petkovic coached for Lugano in 04-05.
Heights is probably conning. He's probably telling Joe, like, "Hey, Joe, you really need me in this job because I could try to get us a new stadium, or I could do this, or I could do that." I think someone mentioned
make him president of like business development. You know what I mean? Like if you like him that much.
But I think Heights still wants to be involved in the player development part of it, and that's the sad part. Like the guy should realize. I don't know how hard-headed he is, but he should realize, man, I haven't made the playoffs with this team like in 4 or 5 years. People don't like me. It's I guess
it didn't stop Nelson.
Here's the thing.
Nelson likes
by the way,
to be the villain.
We're way over time, so got a minute on the clock.
All right, well let's bring this back up because it's still relevant to next week's game. So
let's bring this back up.
Let's just come back to this conversation for next week's game.
We'll be back after a word of these messages.